That was David Bagno from CBS, and of course we're continuing to monitor that. A new film honouring the bravery of Polish airmen in the Second World War opens in cinemas across the UK tonight. The fighter pilots of 303 Squadron wanted to fight against the Nazis for Britain, but at first the Royal Air Force wouldn't let them. The Poles, however, proved themselves to be excellent pilots with more combat experience than many of the British. And 303 Squadron eventually became the most successful fighter command unit in the Battle of Britain. Well, I'm pleased to say that I'll be speaking to two of the film's stars in just a moment. But first of all, let's have a look at the trailer.
Give those bloody Germans hell! Is that clear? Yes, sir! And they are really doing it.
You can call me Johnny.
You can go now.
You saved my life. You are the bloody best pilots we've got.
Squadron 303! Yeah!
You will not find better pilots on this earth, sir.
You don't have to fight anymore.
But I want to fight. May I ask you to dance with me?
I would love to dance with you.
So a little snippet from 303 Squadron. As you can see, the lead actors join us live now. Piotr Adamczyk and John K. Steele. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming in. Wow, taking on a story like this, taking on something that is so well known within history, it must have been a big obligation.
Yes, and wearing these uniforms and telling this story, actually reminding this story, which is very important story for both of our nations, Polish and the Brits.
Piotr, you played General Witold Urbanowicz. He was an extraordinary man.
Yes, Cobra, that's what he was called, because he was quick and very efficient. Actually, Squadron 303 was very efficient. 126 Nazi airmen shot and only 8 pilots on the Polish side.
The figures, and with so few losses as well. Of course, there were losses, but with so few comparative losses. John, in terms of the person that you play, Air Vice Marshal Stanley Vincent, the RAF, they didn't really want the Poles to begin with, did they?
Not to begin with, no, not at all. They were very dubious about these Polish guys showing up. They didn't really trust them. They felt like, oh God, you know, who are these guys? But they won them over, and by the end, they were in awe of them. They were absolutely charmed by them, actually. And in the film, that comes over very well, I think. You know, the fact that they were so won over by their bravery and their commitment to the Royal Air Force.
Bravery, commitment, you touched upon charm, because Piotr, we all know the Polish pilots, they would kiss a lady's hand, and I think they were just absolutely charming.
Yeah.
I think that's why this film is important as well. You know, we can introduce our nation, our mentality to the British audience over here, and I'm happy that the film will be here in the cinemas. And it's always a pleasure to, you know, to go back with your imagination back to the different times of war, which are sad, but also very filmy. It's interesting subject. And, you know, we are speaking about Squadron 303, but there were 16 Polish squadrons fighting in the Battle of Great Britain.
Yes, absolutely crucial. So just remember that there were more than one, but it was 303 that had the highest kill rate, and I think it's the one that captured most people's imagination. And of course, this film is based upon the book by Arkady Fiedler, a Polish journalist and author. So it's the one that's kind of stayed so well with everybody.
It's a very important book for Poles. You know, during Warsaw Uprising, these books were in the boxes, you know, together with ammunition and medical equipment, because it was an important book for our nationality, for our history, for our mind.
It's just how treasured it was, of course. When it comes to this particular film, I know, John, you worked with the families of some of the pilots as well. You had a close relationship. You really analysed and researched this.
Yeah, I mean, Stanley Vincent actually was the. I mean, it's another thing. Like Piotr and I, we're playing real people. They're not fictitious characters. These are real men who actually fought in the Battle of Britain. And Stanley Vincent was the only British airman who actually had shot down enemy aircraft in World War I and World War II. He was a big guy, a big name in the Royal Air Force, and he was knighted. He became Sir Stanley Vincent after the war. So he's a very important character that a lot of people don't really know about. And that was kind of important, I think.
You two as well, your relationship in real life, obviously, and it's showed in the film as well. You effectively, the Poles saved...
Actually, I saved your life.
Yeah, you did. He saved my life in the movie.
You tell what happened. What happened when you went up to fly?
You know, when we were doing the film, of course, we were not flying. But, you know, there was a real hurricane which came from United Kingdom to Warsaw. We were shooting Norfolk. So it was actually our flight of our imagination. They were very brave people, you know, so it is, you know, an honor to play such a character.
Extraordinary. Well, so congratulations, 303 Squadron out in cinemas across the UK. I know it's been very well received in Poland. Piotr Adamczyk and John K. Steele, thank you so much for sharing this story on the centenary of the creation of the RAF, and also, of course, we've got Armistice, the centenary of that, and the centenary of Polish independence this weekend.
An amazing combination of dates.
Incredible. I wish we could talk for longer. Thank you very much, gentlemen, and thank you to our viewers too for watching BBC World News.